Hi there, it's Sam from poodles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is not this one, it's actually this one. It's the baby wipe technique. I showed you a card over on my blog a couple of weeks ago and it was a beautiful koi carp, and I did the baby wipe technique. Now, I know there are videos out there on it, but I did say if anybody wants me to share one, let me know, and quite a lot of you said, oh yes please, we do. Now, I do the same baby wipe technique that other people do. I just store mine differently, as in I don't. Well, I kind of do, but I don't. So the bag isn't really the project, but I will make sure the measurements are on my blog for you. But it's very simple. You start with 12 by 12 paper, you score it and fold the bottom, and then you just wrap it around as you do normally. But I did want to show you the gorgeous paper, so indulge me. This is from a suite called Frosted Floral, and I don't know how well you're going to see that, but it shimmers. There's a pearlescent finish to it on both sides. So this is the paper that I've used, and let me hope. Can you see that? I really don't know if you can, but I'm hoping you can. But it's, oh, if I go like that, you can. Absolutely gorgeous pearl and different patterns. And like I say, it's pearl on both sides. You see, look at that shine. This one's just gorgeous. And like I say, it's called Frosted Floral. That's the suite. I am going to stamp from it. And in this, actually, I did use, that's from the suite, these frosted elements. Zoom in. They're from the suite as well. So's this and the framelets. And it's just divine. What else is from the suite? There is something else. I don't know if I can reach it though. How beautiful is that? Just lush. Let me keep going. I love it. It's beautiful. Look at that colour. How pretty. So Christmas doesn't always have to be about the greens and the reds. It can be about frosty colours as well. Okay, so my baby wipe technique, or the baby wipe technique, is where you take baby wipes and you put them into a box and you drip re-inker all over them, and then you stamp into it, which is what I'm going to do. And I do have one set aside here, which is in a box, so that I can reuse it. But at this point in time of filming, I'm not completely convinced that I know what it was, what colours I used, but this was the end result of this. Now, I cannot, if I wanted to do lots of this technique and keep all of them, I would never remember and I wouldn't have anywhere to stick. So I'll show you what I do. Okay, so I have my baby wipes and I need to find the inks, and what I'm going to do is choose colours that are part of this. So I'm looking for Blackberry Bliss and Blushing Bride. So I'm only going to use two. And I've got my drawer full of re-inkers that's got itself very stuck. So that one is Blushing Bride. Nope. Is that Blackberry Bliss? Oh, it is! Oh. Bravo me. Right, let's get that away. So this is what I do when I know I'm probably not going to be repeating this particular process, or not particularly repeating these colours. I take two baby wipes and stack them on top of each other nice and flat. Start with the dark, and this is the technique that everybody uses. I'm just not keeping them. So you blob your re-inker and fill in the gaps. So that was the Blackberry Bliss, and now I'm doing the Blushing Bride. And obviously by the amount of space this takes up, if I just put this up into the top corner, well, it's not even half, and I'm therefore not even using half as much. A few gaps to fill in. There's something that us crafters do, and we hate to be wasteful, or we hate to feel like we're being wasteful, and we kind of keep everything. I'm not, I chuck everything away, but that I'm happy to do. But it's something of this size in this box underneath, I'd be like, oh, I can't throw that away. Okay, first frost, absolutely gorgeous. So there's my image, and this is a distinctive stamp, which means that it's very detailed, and there's my words that I want to use. Now I'm not going to do the die cutting, this is a process and a technique I'm showing as opposed to a full project, but these are the dies that go with it, and they all go with this. It's just such a pretty sweet, oh, it's beautiful. Right, let's get some Whisper White. So hopefully this should be just about spread out. I've got a little dab there, and this has become my ink pad now. So I'm going to come along, and I've got different colours. Let me do it a couple of times over, because each time you do it, you get different colours come out. My husband's just got home, so you can see you've got these different colours coming out, and it works with words as well. Which I've stamped upside down, but your words could take on a different colour. And the reason I'm showing you this, as I said before, is because I don't have room to store everything. And I do have a large room, but it's a working office as opposed to a craft room, you know, specifically a craft room. And like I say, I just don't have time, don't have space to store everything. And I have no problem. Look at that. So we've got Blushing Bride straight through the middle there, but come here and it's all Blackberry Bliss. So I will now take that and that, throw it in the bin, grab a tissue, because tissues are cheaper than wet wipes, clean that up, and that's gone. And so this one, I've kept it, I don't intend to keep it, I'm going to chuck it away, but I wanted to show you this is how you can do the baby wipe technique without having to think, oh, I've got to have this great big, you know, this box to store it in. No, just chuck it away and just do more. So for me, crafting is about doing lots and making lots of things and feeling happy and not feeling like, well, I've got to now make 30 projects that use all these different blues. And like I say, beautiful as this is, and I'm very happy with it, I don't want to use those blues again. I might want to do greens next time, or I might want to do a rainbow, which would be right up my street. And I've got 50 odd colours in front of me on my ink pad rack in front of me. All these colours, all these amazing combinations. I don't want to feel like I'm restricting myself. It's just so by just using those 2 wet wipes, and I think I used 4 to get this stack. So I'm just cleaning up my ink pad, cleaning out my stamp, see if it still works. I would feel obliged to come along and use it again. And actually, you know what? Those colours have all spread into each other, so I don't even know that I'm getting particularly different blues anyway. So that, for me, small amount of ink, small amount of wet wipes, and I'm happy. So I hope you like the wet wipe technique. Like I say, it's not, the wet wipe technique isn't my technique. I'm going to chuck that away as well. But the way I do it and keeping it small means that I've got endless possibilities without this guilt feeling of, oh, I've got to keep that and use it another time. Nope, pop it in the bin. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me. Like I say, this wasn't so much about the bag, it was about the technique, but I hope you like the bag. And if I've done this one before, I'll go and find the instructions. Bye.